Floodland, who says, Phil, will a Gibson tribute hold their value? You know, it's funny. This question is a little traumatic to me because I did a video, I dare say viral video, a million more or more views video on this channel many years ago. I think it was 2017. The big thing at that time was Andertons, and they were like, Lee Anderton and Rob Chapman were doing this. What guitar would we buy if we had a budget? It was like a big thing. And they were doing that video all the time. And they were great. I watched them. It was awesome. And so they would go into the Anderton store and pick out the gear they would buy. And at the time, 2017, I still had the store. And so I'd get a lot of viewers going, Phil, what guitar would you buy if you had $500? And I just thought, well, if I go in my store and go, well, I picked that one right there, I'd be like, well, I don't know. That's like so copying the Andertons guys, that I kind of felt like, and then somebody's like, well, I just want to see what you would do in this situation. I'm like, yeah, but it was really their idea. So I was like, what can I do to make that idea more my own? And even though I had a store at the time, I called Guitar Center and said, can I come to your store and buy a guitar, $500? And the Guitar Center's like, we don't allow filming in the store. I'm like, literally, there's like 1,000 videos on YouTube of people filming in your stores. But okay. And so I reached out to Sam Ash and I said, hey, can I film in your store? And they were like, sure. And Sammy Ash called me back and said, yeah, we'll let you film in the store. I had never been to their store. I felt so bad. I'd never been to the Glendale store on the other side of town for me. And he's like, yeah, you can come in. We'll close the store for an extra hour, or you can come in an hour before the store opens. And I go, well, I don't need to do all that. Just me and my buddy Ralph and Joe, we have cell phones and we'll just film it. And he's like, okay. And I go, so we went in and we filmed it. And in there at the time was a Gibson tribute and gold top with P90s. And at the time they were going for $500 to $600 used. $600 was probably closer to norm, but $500 you could find for $500, maybe $550. And new, they were like $799. So it was $800 guitar new. So I saw that, if you guys saw that video, I saw that guitar and I was like, that's a good deal. And I'm like, hey, and I always preach it on this channel. I'm like, hey, if you're going to buy anything used, buy a Gibson. Why the story is funny, I may have brought it up a couple times over the years, is that people have a trouble dating YouTube, dating the times. YouTube, I feel purposely sometimes hides the dates from us on videos because they want them to be kind of timeless, because videos sometimes, like in that context, you have no reference of when I made it. It's like not like my hair was much different back then. So anyways, the thing about that video drives me nuts is every year after that video, the comments about how fake that video got more and more as the price of that guitar got up. So when people knew, when I first did it, no one batted an eye. Everybody's like, oh, good deal, $400. They're only like $550. That's a good deal. He did good. A year or two later, they were going used for $650, $700. People were like, wow, that's a really good deal. I can't believe you got it. Then they were going used for like $1,000. People were like, this is fake. There's no way he bought it for $400. It was staged the entire time. People put comments in that video to this day. Ridiculous. This is unbelievable. They didn't even try to lie to us and cheat us. So I guess the story is that video is living proof of watching a guitar go up in value each year. And now every once in a while I see the opposite comments now. Instead of saying, oh, it's fake, I just see people going, man, sure is sad to look at what guitars went for just only 5-6 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, it's tough, right? So yeah, to answer your question, tributes will go up. Gibson has done one thing and one thing well, which is they have not only created a demand for the guitars, they continue to create a demand for the guitars. I hear all the time, they're like, oh, when the boomers all die, no one will buy them. Well, the Gen Xers are buying them, so I guess we got to say, when the Gen Xers all die, they'll buy them. But right now, if you look, Gibson's having no problem selling Gibsons to millennials as well. The only time I hear the argument of why people don't want Gibsons is when they're playing guitars that if you were boomers wouldn't play if they were playing a different genre of music. If you're playing, 8-string gent, yeah, you're not buying a Les Paul. It's not so much about Gibson at that point, it's just not the right tool for your job. You're not going to play that kind of guitar. If you're into headless guitars, you might be into Gibson. It's not your forte. It's not your guitar. So yeah, Gibsons, I hate to say it, they're good bets. And when I say hate to say it, I only say I hate to say it because I don't like looking at guitars as investments. Fast Freddy 333 says, Phil, don't you keep your Steve Vai guitar as an investment? No, I don't keep it as an investment. I keep it because I absolutely love it, and I wanted a gym, my literally my whole guitar life. I mean, from the moment I started playing guitar, I wanted a gem or a universe. And so when I finally got one, it has now, escalated in price compared to what I paid for it. But that's not why I keep it. It's if anything, I would cash out of it right now. If there was a guitar that I wanted more than that guitar, I would absolutely sell it and buy the guitar I want. That would be not even a question. But like I said, I think I mentioned on a show once that my kids can sell it when I die or whatever. They'll get money for it or whatever. It'll just keep going up. But the main reason I keep it is because I want to play it, and I love it. That's why I keep it. So I have no guitars that are essentially like this was for investment purposes. If you enjoyed this podcast clip, you can watch the entire episode by clicking the link in the description or streaming it on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. You can also join it live every week, Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I hope to see you there. Until next time, know your gear.